Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely crucial for our feathered friends. You buy the best seeds, you meticulously clean their cage, and you spend hours and hours bonding with your budgie. But there's a real urgency right now to uncover the invisible dangers lurking in what seems like a completely normal everyday home. You could be doing everything perfectly right, but without this specific information, you might accidentally be putting your beloved flock at risk.
Avian vet Dr. Brian Spear really hit the nail on the head when he said, the house usually looked completely normal. I want to tell you a bit about Linda and her budgie Sunny. Linda did exactly what she always does. She's an incredibly dedicated, loving owner. But one night she found herself up for hours on the internet just frantically searching for answers. She wasn't negligent, she just didn't have all the facts. And we really need to lead with empathy here, because blaming ourselves when tragedy strikes is just human nature. But as you'll see, the real culprits in our homes are incredibly well hidden.
And this just perfectly illustrates the heartbreak so many bird owners dread. That 3 a.m. panic. A completely healthy bird, like Sunny, goes to sleep and then suddenly passes away with zero warning signs. Sunny's water dish was full, his food was eaten, his entire routine was normal. It's like a mystery unfolding. Linda did everything right, so what hidden thing in her completely ordinary apartment was responsible? We're going to go room by room to find out, but first we have to understand the biological why.
Section 1. The Avian respiratory system. Think about the contrast between how we breathe and how they breathe. As mammals, when we inhale a tiny bit of smoke or a strong scent, our bodies basically act like a filter. But a bird's respiratory system, it doesn't work like that at all. Their air flows through a series of connected air sacs directly into their lung tissue. They aggressively absorb whatever is in the air. Avian vets warn that this is a highly direct relationship. What enters the room enters their body instantly, meaning the timeline from airborne exposure to absolute tragedy can literally be just a matter of minutes.
Section 2. Silent kitchen suspects. Let's look at Linda's morning routine. She heated up a perfectly normal pan for her eggs just like she always does. But that pan contains PTFE. That's the standard chemical coating used on everyday non-stick cookware. Now, at normal cooking temperatures, with food actually in the pan, it's generally stable. But if you heat an empty non-stick pan on high for just a few minutes while you prep your food, the chemistry changes completely and it becomes extremely dangerous.
So the absolutely crucial point is this number, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Once you cross that extreme temperature, that PTFE coating starts rapidly releasing highly toxic fumes. And honestly, getting an empty pan to 500 degrees happens way faster on a standard stove than most people realize.
But here's the terrifying catch. It's a totally invisible threat. There's no smoke, there's absolutely no odor, you won't cough, nothing smells like it's burning, and you definitely won't feel any urge to crack open a window. It is completely undetectable to us. But because of that highly efficient avian respiratory system we just talked about, a budgie sitting in the living room next door, breathing that shared air, is an immediate, life-threatening peril.
Section 3. Comforting but deadly toxins.
After a long day, Linda loves to unwind with a lavender-scented candle or maybe a plug-in diffuser in the bedroom. But looking at this timeline, you quickly see why that's a problem. Most of us think about risk in moments, right? But with birds, we have to think about hours. If Linda lights a candle at 6 p.m. and puts it out at 10 p.m., that is 4 solid hours of compounds just constantly accumulating in the air. Scented or unscented, soy or beeswax, it doesn't matter. These comforting items are aggressively pumping compounds into the shared airspace. And remember, your budgie has a very tiny body, breathing in that accumulated air hour after hour. This actually exposes a huge psychological trap we all fall into. Most of us calculate risk by whether something smells toxic. Bleach emits this harsh smell, so it immediately registers as a warning and you move your bird. But candles and diffusers emit soothing smells. They send zero warning signals to our brains because they're literally designed to mask danger and smell comforting. The room feels calm and clean, while the toxicity is just quietly building up.
Now let's pivot over to the living room corner. Linda had a beautiful pothos plant that was clearly labeled pet-friendly. But as Dr. Lori Hess points out, the gap between safe for pets and safe for birds is one of the most common areas of misinformation out there. That pet-friendly tag? Yeah, it's really only tested and meant for cats and dogs.
The biology is completely different here. Budgies don't just look at their environment. They naturally investigate it with their beaks. And when they do, plants like the pothos expose them to sharp calcium oxalate crystals. The very second a budgie chews on it, it causes immediate and severe irritation to their mouth and throat.
This brings us to a rapid-fire checklist of sneaky toxins hiding right in plain sight. Chemical dryer sheets? They release fragrances that transfer directly to the air your bird breathes. Cheap cage accessories, like bells and clips, are often made from galvanized metal containing zinc, and budgies chew on these and slowly ingest heavy metals. Glue boards meant for pests? Absolutely catastrophic if your bird lands on one.
Scented bags placed near the floor quietly release perfumes right where budgies secretly love to explore. And let's just be crystal clear, vaping anywhere near your bird is highly toxic to their system.
Okay, so Linda checked her pans, she checked her candles, she checked her plants and all her cleaning products. She went through her apartment in her head more times than she could count. But what did she completely forget to check? What is the one massive appliance that she missed that ultimately killed Sunny?
Section 4. The shocking final culprit. It's the one thing almost nobody ever thinks to research, hiding in plain sight right in the middle of the kitchen. On a totally normal Saturday afternoon, with the windows closed, Linda decided to run her oven's self-cleaning cycle. It's a standard feature, right? There are no warning labels on the oven door. It didn't even cross her mind that the oven was something you needed to look up.
But look at this number. To burn off baked-on food, that self-cleaning cycle heats the inside of your oven to roughly 900 degrees. That is a massive, escalating extreme temperature.
And at 900 degrees, the internal coatings of many modern ovens release the exact same lethal compounds as an overheated nonstick pan. It's completely colorless, it's completely odorless, there is absolutely nothing to tell you it's happening until you walk into the living room and realize your bird is gone. A perfectly normal afternoon turns into a tragedy simply because the windows were closed and she just didn't have the right information.
Section 5. Protecting your flock.
Listen, if you didn't know about these dangers before today, I want to reiterate, you are not a bad owner. You just weren't told. But here are the immediate life-saving steps you can take today. Step 1. Upgrade your kitchen to bird-safe ceramic or cast iron pans. It's an absolute necessity. Step 2. Invest in a true HEPA air purifier, but make absolutely sure it does not have an ionizer or ozone feature. Step 3. Go over to their cage right now and swap out any cheap metal bells or clips for premium stainless steel toys to eliminate that heavy metal risk. Unplug the air fresheners and go double-check your plants.
We have covered a lot of ground in this explainer. The right information at the right time can literally save a life. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. What hidden toxin are you throwing out of your house today? Take 10 minutes right now to walk through your home and examine it through the eyes of your flock. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay curious and keep those birds safe.